Hello, everyone. Welcome to MMA at Midnight. This is our UFC 232 post-fight special. I'm your host, Shant Yeretzian, and let's get into all the action that went down on Saturday. In the main event, it was Jon Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson for the second time. Jon Jones ended up finishing Alexander Gustafsson, knocking him out. He ended up damaging. I think it was his knee that was messed up. You could see he was like limping around a bit. Gustafsson. He was landing those low kicks, those teep kicks to the knee. He does the calf kicks. He was Jon Jones was hitting him with those pretty good. He hit him with some body shots, and then he ended up getting a nice takedown on Gustafsson. And Gustafsson just pretty much I felt like he checked out. He was just letting Jon Jones pass. Not take anything away from Jon Jones's ground game, but it looked like Gustafsson had given up. He just let him pass. He took side control, and then he gave his back afterwards. And I think Gustafsson just was like, take my back, choke me out. But Jon Jones, man, that dude, he wants to hurt somebody. He just started swinging some brutal ground and pound and hitting Gustafsson, and ended up knocking him out. Those are some violent punches. Yeah, that he called out DC afterwards. If that fight happens, it needs to happen at heavyweight. I don't want to see DC cut down to 205 again. And if Jon Jones wants to prove he's the GOAT, he should go fight at heavyweight. If he's staying at 205, I think he should fight Anthony Smith next. I think that's a logical choice for him. That's a good fight. So let's, hopefully we'll get to see him do that. Because honestly, I do want, as DC being a nice guy, you kind of want him to, he has, his career plan already laid out, when he's going to retire. He wants that Brock fight. So you kind of want to see him, walk off, on his terms, leave the game on his terms, because very few fighters do. But at the same time, everyone wants to see that third fight, but who knows if it's going to go different. DC did do good in their rematch. He did do good before he got knocked out. He was doing a lot better. He made a lot of adjustments. But, yeah, let's move on to the co-main event. This was a war. It only lasted 50 seconds. Cyborg and Amanda Nunes were going at it. They were swinging. Cyborg caught Amanda Nunes early, and then Amanda Nunes just tightened up her game, and she just started lighting Cyborg up, landing crisp combinations, punches, and she ended up knocking out Cyborg. Brutal knockout. It was an amazing finish, super exciting. The combinations she was throwing were amazing. She was landing them crisp. I couldn't believe the speed that she was punching with, too, and the power that you could see behind it. Great performance by Amanda Nunes. She's hands down the GOAT in the women's division, the greatest of all time. People always have that dumb argument, and I'm tired of hearing, who's the GOAT, who's the GOAT, But in this case, the women's division doesn't have a rich history, doesn't have many weight classes. It's pretty easy to figure out. If it was Cyborg or Ronda Rousey, she knocked them both out. She's hands down, So that's amazing performance by her. She was so happy afterwards. She couldn't even put it into words. She was so happy. And yeah, as a fan, I was going nuts too, because even though I like Cyborg and I like Amanda Nunes, I wasn't favoring either one, or thinking I wanted one to win over the other. I respect them both as athletes, and yeah, that was just. That was just a moment where you could see someone having pure joy, pure happiness, something happened that they could never even imagine. So that was a good moment to see, to share with someone and being able to watch that. Also on the card was Carlos Condit taking on Michael Chiesa. This was Michael Chiesa's debut at 170, and he did really good. Carlos Condit, like I said in the pre-fight show, the preview show, that he hasn't looked the same. He just doesn't put it together how he used to. And Michael Chiesa ended up submitting him, caught him with a Kimura. A good fight by Michael Chiesa. I'm looking forward to seeing him climb the ranks at 170 now. So that was good. Also on the card was a bout between Ilir Latifi and Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson ended up winning a unanimous decision on that one. Also on the card was Chad Mendes versus Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski ended up finishing Chad Mendes with strikes, a TKO finish. Good performance by him. That definitely puts him near the top of the division, and I can't wait to see him fight one of those top 5 guys next. Also, there was Andrei Arlovsky. He dropped a split decision to Walt Harris. Another tough loss for Arlovsky. There's been 3 decision losses in a row now. He's doing good. Like like with his strategy, he's not getting knocked out. People had questions about his chin, but he put all that aside. Like he's not out there getting knocked out in anything. He's got good strategy, but at the same time, he's having a hard time finishing guys either. I'm not saying it's easy to finish any of these guys. They're all beasts, but he's got to figure something out, or else it's not going to work out like this. He can't get another loss in a row. He needs to get a win when he goes out there next time. Megan Anderson ended up beating Kat Zingano with a nasty eye injury. Megan Anderson ended up throwing a head kick to Kat Zingano, and her toe caught her right in the eye. Ended up splitting her eyelid too, and yeah, that's nasty getting a toe in the eye. So she ended up winning like that. I'm sure that's not how she wanted to, but she seemed pretty excited about getting the win. BJ Penn taking on Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall ended up winning with a heel hook. Really good performance by Ryan Hall. We know his submissions are awesome. We know he loves leg locks. And he came out there and did it. BJ Penn, it looked like his knee was jacked up afterwards. Like, you could tell like his knee got jacked up on that leg lock. So I want BJ to retire. I hope this is the last time we see him fight. I don't want to see him take any more damage to his body, whether it's just brain or knees or whatever it is. He's done his part. He's a legend. He doesn't need to fight anymore. Also on the card, we had Uriah Hall getting a sick knockout win over Bavon Lewis. Wow. This is the Uriah Hall that we always expect to see. When we think Uriah Hall, we think like these big knockouts, flashy knockouts, power, speed, explosiveness. But sometimes we don't get it. He struggled with that mental aspect of the game where he doesn't pull the trigger. But he did tonight, and he caught him, knocked him out cold. It was a brutal punch. Great performance by Uriah Hall. Like I said, the mental game, like you can tell he feels bad after he knocks someone out. You saw it on his face tonight. Saturday night, you saw it on his face. Like he feels bad when he knocks someone out. I think that's why he has a hard time going out there like and being a killer all the time, because he doesn't necessarily want to hurt people, but his style, he has the capability to knock out anybody. So we'll see what happens with him in the future. He climbs the ranks and then he drops. He climbs the ranks and drops. I want some consistency from him. I know it's a brutal sport. No one wants to hurt anybody. I feel that, I'm looking to compete myself. I don't want to, hurt anybody, but it's for the sport. You got to go out there and finish the guy. You got to knock him out. If you're holding back, you got to think you're not helping yourself, you're not helping the fans, and you're not helping your opponent. Your opponent needs to see the best of you. If they're truly deserve that win, they need to be beating the best of you. So, if that's anything I could give advice to Uriah Hall, that's it right there. Great night of fights. It was fun. UFC 232. Whether your guys won or lost, there was a lot of finishes. So it was a good night of fights, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next with these guys. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comments in the section below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.